to the right, we can see the okapi. And if you look hard enough up on the hill out there to the left, staring at a tree, is going to be that saddle-billed stork. It's got its back to the giraffes. And if you don't believe me, you can head on over to the Gorilla Falls. Out to the left side, we're going to find our black rhinos. Are one of two rhino species we have on the reserve. They are going to be the smaller of the two. They weigh in at about 3,000 pounds each one to the left. They can stand up to be about 55 inches at just their shoulders. Both of them up there are females, as they don't have any horns on their head. Only the male kudos have them. It's Snyder Crocodiles. There to the left for you, you've got those Nile hippos out of the water. They will spend the majority of their day fully submerged under the water. That does help keep them from overheating. They're able to hold their breath for about 8 to 12 minutes at a time, depending on their size. And after that, they come up just briefly for a quick breath of fresh air, and then they go right back under the water. The pink-backed pelicans here, they get their name thanks to the pink coloring that becomes very vibrant on their backs during their mating season. They're colonial. You can find those Nile crocodiles down there. And they are the largest crocodilian species in all of Africa, reaching lengths of over 16 feet long. They can weigh up to be well over 500 pounds and eat half their body weight in just one feeding, which is roughly about 250 pounds of food at one time. They do only need to eat once a week, and they are more than capable of going months at a time without eating anything at all. Our wildebeest making our way out here in the right corner. And wildebeest outside of humans, they are the largest congregating herd of mammals to be able to find. We're able to see upwards of about 1.5 million of them migrating the savanna grass that's together at any one point in time. Rest. They follow water sources, so they love to chase storms in clouds. The animals in the savanna know that when they need to find water, they can follow the wildebeest, knowing that they will lead them directly to it. We then have the wildebeest's best friends, the Hartman mountain zebras, and they're here. They're the only zebra species that does have an extra flap of skin underneath their necks, known as a dewlap flap, and that's going to help out with thermal rent. Then they throw their body language into it to really get their point across. You're going to find those painted dogs there to the left side.
My favorite animal.
They're your favorite?
Yeah.
And the painted dogs, they do get their name thanks to those colorful markings. There is a team. They are going to chase their prey to the prey. Also, their pack is allowed to eat. They can also be quite the smelly animal, as they love to roll around in other animal feces to help mask their scent. And their favorite actually is the zebras. The large cattle here are the Nkuli cattle, also known as the Watusi cattle, after the Watusi tribe that first domesticated them, which makes them one of two domesticated animals we have here on the reserve. Those horns of theirs can reach lengths of over. We have our stable antelopes here on the hill to the left side. They are in the top 10 largest antelope species there are. Their horns can also reach lengths of about 4 to 6 feet long, but theirs are going to curve back and down to create a grip. About it, they really aren't the greatest of friends. You can see those Maasai giraffes out there. The Maasai giraffes are going to be more known for those rough, jagged-like patterns that are all over their coats. Those patterns will reach from the very top of their head all the way down to the bottom of their feet. Now, a giraffe will be the tallest animal on land, reaching heights of 18 to 20 feet tall, and they've got a great head start on that height, as they are born at nearly 6 feet just eating. But in their defense, they have 4 stomachs. And then they only spend about 30 minutes, and I do repeat, only about 30 minutes of their day is going to be spent sleeping. And I don't know about anyone else, but I definitely need more than 30 minutes a day to sleep. And at top speeds of about 35 miles an hour. And the adult giraffes do have very powerful hind legs that can deliver a blow. African elephants are very social animals, so they will spend a majority of their lifetime together, except for the males. Male elephants are going to take off around 13 to 15 years of age. Mandrills out to the left side. The mandrills are the largest monkey species there are. And the males, they can reach up to be about 100 pounds when fully grown. They're pretty well known for those blue and red markings that are on their faces, which do get right inside their mouths, which will allow them to we have on the reserve, weighing in at about 15,000 pounds each when fully grown. They have their extremely large ears, which do continue to grow with them as they grow. And their ears do a lot more for them than just allowing them to hear very well. Each of their ears are packed full of blood vessels, and they can flap those ears back and forth, creating an air current that allows them to cool their body temperatures down by about 15 degrees Fahrenheit. They use their tusks a bit, but in the process of doing all of that, they tend to knock those trees over. Those fallen down trees are very beneficial though, not only for them, as it's going to allow them to grab a hold of all the food from the top that they couldn't really reach before, but also for smaller animals like meerkats, who can use the fallen down trees as a lookout post when watching for predators. Peak of all the flamingo species. When all flamingos are hatched, they do sit out gray, so there are going to be 4 gray ones down there. Those are some of our flamingo chicks from this year. They're about 4 months old now, but it's going to take them around 2 years to get to their full pink coloring. And in those 2 years, they are eating brine shrimp, which is packed full of beta carotene. The coloring of theirs, and without it, they would remain gray. If we take a look at the flamingo's legs, the middle joint, many people believe it to be their knee, but it's actually their ankle. This way. Now, white rhinos are the second rhino species here on the reserve. They are the larger of the two, weighing in at about 4,000 to 5,000 pounds, each one fully grown. Much more social than a black rhino, so they will spend more of their lifetime together in small family groups. They do, however, have extremely poor eyesight, much worse than mine, and unlike me, they can't exactly wear glasses all day long, so they do have to highly rely on sounds and smells to navigate their world. As we are able to see, they're not actually white, they are gray in color, so they get their name from the mistranslation, unless you see one. If we get, oh, okay, look in the center of the 2 yards, it's going to be whirling around that little house there.
That way up there, man?
Yeah.
And cheetahs, they are some of the fastest animals on land. They reach top speeds of about 60 to 70 miles an hour. They can reach that speed in just 3 seconds, so they mostly hunt at night. And then we do have our African lions out here, who are generally pretty lazy animals. They are going to spend about 18 to 20 hours of their day sleeping and lying around. The females, they come out, they take care of all the hunting, while the male, he's going to stay behind. He's going to protect the rest of the pride, including all of the cubs. It can also be quite difficult for him to be able to go out and hunt with any speed and accuracy, as his mane can weigh up to be about 40 pounds when it's fully grown out. They do have extremely great eyesight, very similar to ours during the day. Very loud, powerful roar, which can be heard up to about 5 miles away. Moorhounds are part of the same family as average domesticated pigs. Unlike pigs, though, they rock a bit of more mohawk-style hair all down their backs, and they have the 4 tusks on the front of their faces. The 2 large ones will curve up and help to dig out those burrows you see down below. They've got 2 smaller ones on their bottom lip that point straight out to the side. Was the warthog. Pumbaa in Swahili mean foolish or dim-witted. You can find the rest of our crash of white rhinos there. It looks like they're going to be making their way to the other side where the other one was going. Dwarf goats can be found worldwide, but they're going to hail all the way out from West Africa. They do spend most of their day grazing on the grass and taking as many naps as they'd like. They will, however, provide the warden with milk, and we're able to take that sweet goat milk, which is rich in protein, and turn it into many other dairy products that can be sold and consumed, helping to protect the wildlife, as it makes it much less necessary to need to go out and hunt for any other food sources.
Dad, look. Look at Dixie's necklace. Now my phone doesn't want to focus at all, so I can't get any of this.
Permanezca sentados y mantengan las manos, brazos, pies y pies. When we move, the recording volume stays behind. This culinary evening pounding music is 15 times. The silence is very ready. And times Number please. Beside it runs busy.
Good girl, Dixie.
Thank you. Good girl.
She's really good though.